Scream 5 stars Melissa Barrera, Neve Campbell, and a bunch of other legacy characters and new characters, including Jenna Ortega from Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, because I need to mention something Jurassic Park in my life. Man, I'm a Jurassic sim. And tells a story of a group of teenagers and one main character played by Melissa, who are being stalked by the Ghostface Killer. And the legacy characters come in to help them try to figure out who it is, who he's connected to this group of friends, and why he's killing them. Now, watching this film, I was scared. I was worried that this was going to end up like one of those terrible 80s sequels or something like that. I really enjoyed the Scream franchise. The first movie right here is a classic. I really love that movie. The second one was pretty good. The third one, the fourth one was also pretty good in my opinion, and it was probably my second favorite in the franchise. There hasn't been a movie in this franchise yet that I have considered bad or mediocre, at least. The only one that I found mediocre or was probably the third one, I'm going to be honest. But there was nothing like truly awful or terrible or bad in this franchise. And still not yet. Scream 5 is not even mediocre. It's really good. And is now my new second favorite in the franchise behind the first movie. Though now I'm going to have to differentiate these movies now. This is basically Scream 5. And what I really enjoyed about this movie is how they're able to take elements from the first movie and the entire franchise and was able to stick with it, but was able to change up a few things and not to go changing them up for the sake of changing up. They do it by introducing a new main character and have her basically be connected to someone important from the past. And I'm not going to spoil anything about what her connections are and what their deal is, but what they did with her character and how it connects to previous events, I thought was handled very well and actually created some pretty emotionally significant scenes that worked at the very end. And it never came across as pretentious or just there for the sake of being there, you know? She actually felt like a natural character in the situations. And all the meta references that you want out of a Scream movie. The Ghostface killings are grisly and bloody and gory. It still has the elements that worked in the franchise, but the story itself is where you can see some of the differences. Though you could tell a few similarities here and there is still enough to make it feel like a new experience, and the story was still engaging enough for you to care what happens. And the heart of this movie is basically between the two sisters, played by Jenna Ortega and Melissa. I'm terrible with names, I'm sorry. But these two actors play off each other really well, and their characters are just handled beautifully, I gotta say. They were basically the heart and soul of this entire movie. They carried it with their relationship. And again, I don't want to spoil anything because there's some pretty significant spoilers here. And I bet you know that there's always going to be that twist ending of who's the killer. Wow, but that's not even the most surprising element of the movie for me. I'm still not going to spoil it for you guys in case you don't know, but something with the main characters and their history is what kept me intrigued throughout the movie. And I wanted these characters to actually get out of the situation because of that set connection is having a significant impact on their lives. So, it's just actually the story and the main characters that actually got me hooked. And that's what I want out of this movie. To have a good story and good characters to keep me engaged in this story that we've probably seen many times, but we're going to see a few differences here and there. The meta references still work. I love how they're able to update the references to modern day horror movies and give them a bit of love, like Hereditary or something like The Babadook. Like movies like that get referenced in this movie, like more psychological horror movies. That's like the new deal today, and it kind of makes sense now why this movie is just called Scream. Like it's in a new era and it's out in a new decade, so it's like introducing a new generation, and I think it worked very well. Still prefer they would call Scream 5 just so it can make more sense for my title. But overall, this was really good. The director of this movie helmed this very well. All the scares and elements that make this movie still feel horrifying work very well. And while the kills are brutal, it never comes across as mean-spirited or anything like out of a Saw movie. It was able to keep that fine balance between gore and suspense, and I loved being caught teased so much. Oh my god, that's a terrible joke. Just overall, this was a really fun horror movie, and January had been so good so far for movies. Usually this is a dump month, but with Belle and this Scream, January's off to a good start. So yeah, I'm having a good time at the movies. I'm going to give Scream 5 an A-. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.